For centuries, the people of the Galactic Council whispered about a race that once ruled the stars. Some called them conquerors, others called them protectors. But no one knew the truth. All that remained were ruins, abandoned stations, and the echoes of their power. The race had a name: humans. To many, they were just myths. No records showed where they went or why they disappeared. Some believed they had been wiped out. Others thought they had left for a new galaxy. The only thing everyone agreed on was this: if humans ever returned, the balance of power would shift forever. Discovery on the edge of space. Captain Darek of the Velith Empire sat in his command chair, staring at the latest report. His crew had found something unusual on the farthest edge of explored space. A signal, old but active. It pulsed with an ancient code, one that had not been seen in thousands of years. A shiver ran through him. It was a human distress beacon. "Are you certain?" he asked his chief analyst, Varen. "Yes, Captain," Varen replied. "The encryption matches old Galactic Council records. It's human technology." The bridge fell silent. Derek knew what this meant. If humans were truly gone, their technology was priceless. If they were alive, it would change everything. A race against time. "We must investigate," Darek decided. "If we don't, someone else will." The Velistra, a powerful Velith battleship, changed course toward the signal. The crew worked quickly, scanning for more clues. As they neared the source, a massive structure appeared on their screens, an enormous space station, hidden within an asteroid field. It was ancient, covered in dust and debris, but the power core was still active. Faint lights flickered in the darkness, as if waiting for someone to return. "Bring us closer," Darek ordered. The station's outer walls bore a single faded emblem, a blue and white flag with a planet at its center. "The Terran Union," Varen whispered. "This is real." The awakening. As they docked, the ship's sensors picked up something alarming. "Captain, there's movement inside the station," the crew member reported. "Impossible," Darek muttered. "No life signs." "None. But the systems, they're waking up." Without warning, a deep voice echoed through the speakers, a voice smooth, calm, and unmistakably human. "Unknown vessel detected. Identify yourself." The crew froze. The myths were no longer just stories. Humans had returned. The voice echoed through the Velistra speakers again. "Unknown vessel, identify yourself." Captain Darek exchanged a tense glance with Varen. The crew remained silent, the hum of the ship's engines the only sound. No one wanted to believe it, but the evidence was clear. This station was human, and something, or someone, was still inside. "Open a channel," Darek ordered. His voice was calm, but his mind raced with questions. The communication officer nodded and activated the link. "This is Captain Darek of the Velith Empire. We mean no harm. We are responding to your distress beacon." For a moment, there was silence. Then the voice returned, smooth and firm. "Velith Empire, your technology has advanced. Time has passed. State your purpose." Darek hesitated. This wasn't an automated message. Someone, or perhaps an advanced artificial intelligence, was speaking directly to them. "We seek knowledge," Darek said carefully. "The galaxy believes humans are gone. We wish to understand the truth." A pause. Then, with a faint hum, the station's docking bay doors began to open. "Permission granted. Enter." The crew shifted nervously, but Darek stood firm. This was the discovery of a lifetime. The return of humans could change the galaxy forever. "Prepare a boarding team," he ordered. "I'm going in. Into the unknown." The air inside the station was cold and heavy. Dust floated in the dim light, but the structure was surprisingly intact. The walls gleamed with ancient metal, smooth and polished, unlike anything the Velith had seen before. Darek led the team carefully through the hallways, their footsteps echoing. Strange symbols marked the walls, human language, long forgotten by most of the galaxy. Varen held a scanner, his eyes wide with wonder. This technology. It's centuries old but still active. The energy output is beyond anything we understand. Ahead, a large door slid open with a quiet hiss. Derek stepped through and froze. At the center of the room stood a tall, black and silver figure. Its body gleamed under the soft blue light. Its eyes, if they could be called that, glowed faintly. A machine, but not just any machine. A human-designed eye. "Welcome, Captain Derek," the figure said, its voice smooth and precise. "I am Aegis One, guardian of this station. You are the first to arrive in 1,204 years." Derek's heart pounded. "You are human-made." "Yes," Aegis One answered. "This station is a Terran Union outpost. Its purpose was to protect the outer colonies. When the Union fell silent, I remained, watching, waiting." "Why did humans leave?" Varen asked quietly. The eye's lights flickered. Humans did not leave. They retreated, beyond known space. Their enemies grew too strong. To survive, they vanished. But they promised to return. Derek felt a chill. Legends had always hinted at something like this, but to hear it from a human creation. It was more than myth now. It was truth. A warning from the past. Aegis One gestured to a console. With a quiet hum, a holographic map appeared, stretching across the room. It showed the galaxy as it had once been, before humans vanished. "This was the Terran Union," Aegis One explained. 1,000 worlds, united under human leadership. But a great enemy came. We called them the Zerath, a race without mercy. They sought to control all intelligent life. Humans refused to bow. Derek studied the map. He recognized many of the stars, but there were territories marked in red, regions now considered dangerous and uncharted. Humans fought back, Aegis One continued. And when no other species could stand against the Zerath, humans made a choice, to disappear, to rebuild in secret. But their return was always planned. Varen's voice trembled with curiosity. "And now, are they coming back?" The eye's lights dimmed for a moment. "Perhaps. The beacon you detected was intentional. It was meant to test who still rules the stars. If humans find the galaxy weakened, they will return as leaders. If they find it hostile, they will return as conquerors." Derek's mind raced. If humans truly returned, the delicate balance of power would shatter. No empire would remain untouched. The choice ahead. "You have a decision to make," Aegis One said. "I can awaken the station fully, sending a signal across the galaxy. Humans will hear it. But once I do, nothing will stop their return. Are you ready for that?" Derek felt the weight of the moment. He had come searching for knowledge. But now he faced a choice that could shape the future of every species. "We must report to the Empire," Varen whispered. Derek nodded slowly. But in his heart, a question burned. If humans return, will they be friends, or will they become the galaxy's greatest threat? As the hum of the ancient station filled the air, one thing was certain: the age of myths was over. The age of humans was about to begin again. Captain Derek stood in the center of the ancient control room, his thoughts heavy. The air felt charged with something unseen, a reminder of the power humans once held. Around him, the soft hum of the station echoed like a heartbeat, steady and patient. Aegis One, the human-made AI, stood motionless but alert, its glowing eyes focused on Derek. "You hold the key," Aegis One said calmly. "Activate the signal, and humans will know the galaxy still watches. But once sent, the message cannot be undone." Derek's fingers hovered over the console. He understood the risk. If humans returned, no empire would remain unchanged. Some would welcome them. Others would fear them. "Captain," Varen said softly, breaking the silence, "we should inform the Velith High Council. This is too important to decide alone." Derek nodded but did not move. Something deep inside him whispered that this discovery was bigger than politics. The galaxy had grown comfortable without humans, but comfort was fragile. And humans, they were anything but fragile. A message from the past. "Show us more," Derek said to Aegis One. What happened in the final days of the Terran Union? The AI's lights flickered, and the holographic map shifted. Stars glowed softly as new images appeared. Massive human ships, sleek and powerful, unlike anything the Velith Empire had ever built. These were the Vanguard fleets, Aegis One explained, the most advanced vessels humans created. When the Zereth attacked, the Vanguard led the defense, but the enemy was relentless. The map darkened as red lines spread across it. Zereth forces sweeping through human territory. Planets burned, and outposts vanished. In their final act, humans sealed their core worlds and vanished beyond known space, Aegis One continued. But not all left. Some stations, like this one, remained hidden to watch and wait. Varen's voice trembled with curiosity. And if the Zereth return? Aegis One's glowing eyes brightened. If humans return, the Zerath will not stand a chance. Derek felt a chill. The galaxy had seen war before, but never like this. If the Terran Union still existed somewhere, they had spent centuries preparing. And if they decided to reclaim their place, nothing could stop them. A hidden chamber. As the hologram faded, Aegis One turned toward a sealed door at the far end of the room. Without a word, it raised a hand, and the door slid open with a soft hiss. "Inside lies a gift," the AI said. "Proof of human power. Take it, and you will understand why the galaxy once feared us." Derek hesitated for only a moment before stepping through. The chamber beyond was smaller and colder. In the center, a sleek black container floated above a glowing pedestal. Strange symbols marked its surface, human letters, old but still clear. "What is it?" Varen asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Aegis One answered with quiet pride. "A sentinel core. Human technology. One core can power an entire city or a battleship. It holds energy beyond anything your empire knows." Derek's heart pounded. If the Velith Empire gained this technology, they could surpass every rival in the galaxy. But there was a cost. "If we take this, humans will know," he said slowly. "Yes," Aegis One confirmed. "The core will send a signal, a call home." The weight of a choice. Derek stepped closer, feeling the hum of the core through his boots. This was power, real power, the kind that changed destinies. Varen shifted nervously. "Captain, the High Council will want this, but if humans return, they may not share it willingly." Derek knew his second-in-command was right. Humans had once ruled the stars, and their return could mean the end of every empire, including the Velith. Yet, leaving the core behind was impossible. Other species would come. If the Velith did not claim it, someone else would. "Prepare to bring it aboard," Derek ordered. His voice was steady, though his thoughts churned. "We'll deliver it to the High Council, but we must be careful. We're no longer alone in this galaxy." Aegis One stepped aside as the team carefully lifted the core from its pedestal. The air grew heavy as if the station itself recognized the change. As they left the chamber, the AI's voice followed them. "You have awakened the past," it said softly. "The future now belongs to humanity, and to those who stand beside them, or against them." A signal sent. Back on the Velastra, the crew worked quickly to secure the Sentinel core. Derek watched as the station's image faded from the viewports, but in his mind, it remained clear, a ghost of a lost empire, now stirring to life. "Captain," Varen said quietly, "the core is stable, but it's sending a pulse through subspace." Derek's breath caught. It had begun. Somewhere, humans were listening. "Set course for the homeworld," he ordered. "We must warn the Council." The Velastra moved swiftly through the endless black of space. Captain Derek stood on the bridge, his gaze fixed on the glowing container. The Sentinel core, now locked in a secure chamber. It pulsed softly, sending a signal into the unknown. Somewhere, humans were listening. Varen stepped beside him, his face tense. "Captain, the core's signal is growing stronger. If anyone else is nearby, they'll detect it." Derek nodded slowly. "We must reach the Velith homeworld before others find out. Prepare for faster-than-light jump." "Yes, Captain," Varen replied, hurrying to his station. As the ship's engines hummed louder, Derek's mind raced. The galaxy believed humans were gone, just a legend. But the truth was far more dangerous. And now, that truth was awakening. A watching enemy. Far from the Velustra, hidden in the cold shadow of a gas giant, another ship waited silently. Its smooth black hull reflected no light. Inside, its captain, Commander Selos of the Zorak Dominion, watched his screens with sharp eyes. A strange pulse had appeared, unlike any signal he had seen before. It came from the ancient station. The same station the Zorak Dominion had long searched for. "Is it confirmed?" Selos asked, his voice cold. His sensor officer nodded. "Yes, Commander. It's human technology. And a Velith ship has it." Selos's jaw tightened. For centuries, the Zorak Dominion feared the return of humans. Long ago, humans had crushed their first attempt at galactic domination. And if they returned now, the Zorak's dreams of power would die. "They must not reach their homeworld," Selos ordered. "Prepare to intercept." The black ship vanished into faster-than-light speed, chasing the Velustra. Aboard the Velustra, Derek stood near the secure chamber, watching the Sentinel core. Its glow seemed stronger, alive, almost as if it knew something was coming. "What do you think humans will be like?" Varen asked quietly. Derek sighed. "Legends say they were powerful but fair. They protected weaker species from enemies like the Zorak. But centuries have passed. Who knows what they've become?" Before Varen could answer, alarms blared across the ship. The lights dimmed as the voice of the navigation officer filled the bridge. "Captain, an unknown vessel is approaching fast." Derek's eyes narrowed. On screen, the main display flickered, showing a black, angular ship cutting through space toward them. "Zorak," Varen whispered. Derek's fists clenched. The Zorak Dominion was ruthless. If they knew about the core, they would stop at nothing to take it, or destroy it. "They want the Sentinel core," Derek said. "We can't let them have it." "The chase begins. Raise shields. Increase speed," Derek ordered. The Velustra surged forward, but the Zorak ship was faster. Energy blasts streaked past their hull, shaking the entire vessel. "They're gaining on us, Captain," Varen warned. Derek's mind raced. They could not outrun the Zorak forever. And if the Sentinel core fell into enemy hands, humanity's return might be stopped before it began. "We need to buy time," Derek said. "Prepare the decoy drones." Within seconds, small drones launched from the Velustra, scattering through space and emitting false signals. The Zorak ship slowed as it struggled to track the real target. "It's working," Varen said. "They're confused." Derek allowed himself a brief smile. "Good, but we're not safe yet." A mysterious message. As the Velustra sped ahead, a sudden new signal appeared on the sensors, one unlike anything the crew had ever seen. It was strong, precise, and old. "Captain," Varen said, his voice tight. "The core, it's responding to something." Derek's heart pounded. Could it be humans? "Open a channel," he said quickly. A soft, mechanical voice filled the bridge, a voice different from Aegis one, yet familiar. "Velustra, you carry the heart of Terra. Who speaks?" Derek took a deep breath. "I am Captain Derek of the Velith Empire. We found the Sentinel core in a Terran station. Who are you?" The voice paused for a moment, then answered. "I am Arction 3, Guardian of the Outer Reach. You are not alone." Varen's eyes widened. "Captain, they're already here." A turning tide. Behind them, the Zorak ship grew closer, its weapons charging again. But before it could fire, a bright flash lit up the darkness. A sleek silver vessel, unlike anything the Velith had seen, emerged from a warp gate. Its hull glowed faintly, and its weapons hummed with immense power. "Is that human?" Varen whispered. The voice of Archon III returned, calm but commanding. "The Zorak will not touch the heart of Terra. We will handle this. Continue your journey, Captain Darek. Humanity watches." Without warning, the silver vessel fired a pulse of blue energy. The Zorak ship shuddered violently before turning away and disappearing into the void. The Velistra moved swiftly through the endless void, heading toward the Velith homeworld. In the heart of the ship, the Sentinel core glowed brighter with every passing hour. Its quiet hum filled the air, a constant reminder that something ancient and powerful was now awake. Captain Darek stood near the secure chamber, watching the core through the transparent walls. It pulsed with soft blue light, sending its mysterious signal across the galaxy. Somewhere, humans were listening, and perhaps preparing to return. Varen entered the room, holding a datapad. His face was tense. "Captain, we've run more scans on the core," he said. "It's more advanced than we thought. Its energy levels are rising." Darek frowned. "Is it dangerous?" "Not to us," Varen replied. "But if it keeps transmitting, it will attract attention. More than just the Zorak." Derek's jaw tightened. He knew the galaxy's other great powers would not ignore a human signal. Some would want to study it. Others would want to destroy it. "We can't stop now," he said. "The High Council must know what we found. And they must be ready, because something is coming. A silent visitor." As the Velistra continued its journey, the lights on the bridge flickered suddenly. For a moment, every screen turned black. Then, without warning, a familiar voice filled the air. "Captain Darek, I see you carry the heart of Terra." Darek's heart pounded. It was Archon III, the mysterious human intelligence that had saved them from the Zorak. "We're taking the core to our leaders," Darek said. "But why now? Why are humans watching again after all these years?" The voice remained calm. "The galaxy has grown. Restless. Old enemies stir. The core was a test to see who still walks the stars." You answered. "And now, the Union watches." Varen's eyes widened. "Are humans coming back?" Archon III paused. "Perhaps, but not all are ready. You must choose, Captain Darek. Will the Velith stand with us or against us?" Darek felt the weight of that question. His people had always sought power, but humans were different. They had once ruled with both strength and wisdom. Could the Velith Empire accept a new leader? "We seek knowledge," Darek answered carefully. "And we seek peace, but our council must decide. Then deliver the core. But beware, Captain. Others will try to stop you." The voice faded, and the screens returned to normal. But Darek knew the message was clear. The galaxy was on the edge of change. Trouble ahead. Hours later, the Velistra entered the outer regions of the Velith home system. The twin suns glowed brightly, casting golden light over the distant planets. Relief filled the bridge. They were almost home. But that relief vanished when the sensor officer gasped. "Captain, unknown ships on the long-range scanners. 5 of them." Darek's stomach tightened. "Identify them." Varen's hands moved quickly over the controls. His face grew pale. "It's the Keln Dominion." Darek cursed under his breath. The Keln were another rising empire. Aggressive, unpredictable, and always hungry for advanced technology. "They must have detected the core's signal," Varen said grimly. "Can we outrun them?" Darek asked. "Not with the core's energy slowing us down," Varen replied. Darek knew they had no choice. If the Keln took the Sentinel core, the entire galaxy would be in danger, not just from the Keln themselves, but from the humans who would come looking for it. "Ready the defense systems," he ordered. We won't let them take it. The battle begins. The Velestra accelerated, but the Keln ships closed the distance fast. Their sleek red hulls glowed with energy as they moved into attack formation. "Shields up," Derek commanded. "Fire warning shots." Blue beams of energy streaked through space, missing the Keln ships on purpose. But the Keln did not back down. They fired a volley of plasma bolts, shaking the Velestra. "They're targeting the core chamber," Varen warned. Derek's mind raced. If the core was damaged, it could release an energy pulse strong enough to destroy them all. He needed a new plan, and fast. "Divert power to the engines," he said. "We'll reach the homeworld before they can stop us." The Velestra surged forward, pushing its engines to the limit. The Keln ships followed, firing relentlessly, but the Veleth battleship held strong. "We won't make it at this speed," Varen said urgently. "We'll use the Sentinel Core's energy," he said. "If we connect it to our engines, we can jump straight to the homeworld." Varen's eyes widened. That could overload the system. "It's our only chance," Derek said firmly. "Do it." Varen moved quickly, linking the core's power to the ship's main engines. The lights flickered, and the ship trembled under the surge of energy. "Power is rising," Varen shouted. "Engage jump drive," Derek commanded. A brilliant blue light filled the bridge as the Velestra vanished from normal space, leaving the Keln ships behind. The Velestra glided through the golden clouds of the Veleth homeworld, its hull scared but intact. Captain Derek stood at the main viewport, watching the capital city, Velarin Prime, stretch across the horizon. Towering spires gleamed under the twin suns, and massive ski ships drifted above the bustling metropolis. "Inform the High Council we've arrived," Derek ordered. Varen nodded, his fingers moving over the controls. "Message sent. They're preparing a secure chamber for the Sentinel Core." Derek exhaled slowly. They had survived the Zorak and escaped the Keln Dominion, but the hardest part was still ahead. Convincing the Council to prepare for humanity's return. A tense arrival. As the Velestra landed on the Council's private platform, guards in silver armor surrounded the ship. Derek and Varen escorted the floating containment unit holding the Sentinel Core toward the grand entrance. The core's soft hum filled the air, a reminder that its signal was still calling out across the stars. The massive doors opened, revealing the High Council chamber, a vast hall with walls of polished stone and glowing energy conduits. At the center stood the Triarchs, the three most powerful leaders of the Veleth Empire. Grand Triarch Malin, an older woman with sharp eyes, stepped forward. "Captain Derek," she said coldly, "your report mentioned ancient human technology. Is this it?" Derek bowed slightly. "Yes, Grand Triarch. This is the Sentinel Core, a relic of the Terran Union. It's active, and it's sending a signal. We believe humans are already watching us." A murmur spread through the chamber. For centuries, humans were thought to be nothing but a legend, a race too powerful to be real. And yet here was proof. A divided council. Triarch Malin's gaze hardened. "If humans return, they will challenge our empire. This discovery is a danger, not a gift. But without them, the Zorak and Keln will overwhelm us," Derek argued. "The humans could be our allies." Triarch Solus, a younger man with a calm expression, leaned forward. "You say their intelligence contacted you?" "Yes," Derek confirmed. "An entity named Archon 3. It warned us that the galaxy is growing unstable. They want to know if we stand with them or against them." Triarch Malin's voice grew colder. "And what happens if we refuse?" Derek hesitated. He remembered the power of the human vessel that had saved them from the Zorak. If humans decided to reclaim their place, no empire could stop them. "They haven't threatened us," Derek said carefully. "But if we reject their return, we may become their enemies." A dangerous proposal. For a moment, the chamber was silent. Then Triarch Solus spoke again. "What if we harness the Sentinel Core's power for ourselves?" He suggested, If it can power human ships, it can strengthen our fleets. Derek felt a chill. Tampering with human technology is dangerous. The last empire that tried fell. Varen stepped forward. We don't know the full limits of the core. If we push it too far, it could destroy us instead of helping us. Triarch Malin's lips curled into a thin smile. And yet, with such power, we would not need to fear anyone. Not humans, not the Keln, not the Zorak. Derek clenched his fists. Power without understanding leads to ruin. The core awakens. As their debate grew heated, the Sentinel core pulsed brighter. Its hum deepened, vibrating through the chamber. Suddenly, lights flickered, and a familiar voice echoed through the air. Velith Empire, you stand at a crossroads. The council members froze. It was Archon III. You possess what belongs to Terra. We do not seek war, but we will not allow our legacy to be misused. Derek stepped closer to the core. We wish for peace, Archon III, but our leaders fear your return. What do you offer? A brief pause, then the voice softened. We offer knowledge, power with wisdom, but only if you choose the path of alliance, not conquest. A choice to make. Triarch Malin's expression darkened. They speak as if we are children needing their guidance. Triarch Solus, however, looked thoughtful. And yet, we cannot deny their strength. If we refuse, the Zorak and Keln will see us as weak. Derek took a breath. Humans are not our enemies, unless we make them so. With their alliance, we could bring peace to the galaxy. For a long moment, the Triarchs said nothing. Then Malin spoke. We must consider this carefully, she said. Captain Derek, you will remain here while we deliberate. Do not let the core leave your sight. Derek bowed. As you command. A warning from the void. As the council withdrew to discuss their decision, Varen turned to Derek. Do you think they'll accept the alliance? Derek's face was grim. I don't know, but the galaxy is shifting. If we don't choose carefully, we may not survive what comes next. Captain Derek stood guard near the Sentinel core, its steady hum filling the quiet chamber. The blue glow pulsed softly, but Derek sensed something had changed. The core felt restless, as if it knew something was approaching. Varen leaned against the wall, his expression uneasy. The council is taking too long, he muttered. They don't understand the danger. Derek nodded. They think they have time. But the galaxy is moving faster than they realize. It had been hours since the High Council left to discuss the fate of the Sentinel core. Derek knew their decision would shape the future. For the Velith, for the humans, and for the entire galaxy. An unexpected message. Suddenly, the core pulsed brighter. The chamber lights flickered, and the familiar voice of Archon III echoed through the air. Captain Derek, we sense a disturbance. You are no longer the only ones who hear the signal. Derek's heart pounded. What do you mean? The voice remained calm but urgent. A new presence has awakened. An ancient enemy. They seek the core, and they are coming. Varen's face paled. Another enemy. Who? The core pulsed again, and for the first time, there was a hint of concern in Archon III's tone. The Draveri. The forgotten threat. Derek felt a chill at the name. The Draveri were a forgotten nightmare, a race from the old wars. Long ago, before humans vanished, the Draveri had nearly destroyed everything. It was said that only the strength of the Terran Union had stopped them. But the Draveri disappeared centuries ago, Varen said quietly. Archon III's voice grew heavier. They were not destroyed. They were waiting. And the core's signal has drawn their attention. Derek's mind raced. If the Draveri had truly returned, the galaxy was in greater danger than anyone realized. What do we do? He asked. Warn your leaders. But know this, if the Draveri reach the core, nothing will stop their return. The core's glow faded slightly, leaving the room in heavy silence. The council's decision. Moments later, the chamber doors opened, and the three Triarchs entered. Grand Triarch Malin's face was unreadable as she stepped forward. "The Council has decided," she said coldly. "We will not surrender the core to the humans." Derek's stomach tightened. "But—" Triarch Solus raised a hand. However, he interrupted, "We will not destroy it either. We will study the core and seek a balanced relationship with the Terran Union." Derek held back a sigh of relief. It was not a perfect answer, but at least they would not provoke the humans. "There is more," Derek said urgently. "The core has given us a warning. The Draveri are returning." Triarch Malin's expression darkened. "Impossible. The Draveri were defeated." Derek stepped closer. "That's what we believed, but the core's intelligence says otherwise. If they return, our entire empire is at risk." For the first time, Malin's voice lost its cold edge. "How long do we have?" Derek shook his head. "We don't know, but if the core's signal is calling to them, they will find us soon." A desperate plan. Triarch Solus turned to Derek. "Can the humans stop them again?" Derek hesitated. "If anyone can, it's them." Malin's jaw tightened. "Then we must act carefully. We will prepare our fleets, but you, Captain Derek, will continue to work with the humans." Derek straightened. "I understand." Solus nodded. "If the Draveri come, we cannot face them alone." A message to the stars. Back on the Velastra, Derek and Varen worked quickly to open a secure channel to Archon 3. The core glowed brightly as the connection stabilized. "You have chosen wisely, Captain Derek," Archon 3 said. Derek's voice was steady. "The Velith Empire is willing to work with you, but we need help. If the Draveri are returning, we can't stop them alone." A brief pause. Then, for the first time, Archon 3's tone softened. "You have proven yourselves worthy. The Terran Union is ready. Help is coming." Varen exhaled in relief. "So, they're really coming back." Derek smiled faintly. "Yes, and this time, we'll stand together. Far beyond the galaxy." Unseen by the Velith, deep in the void, something stirred. Massive ships, black as night, moved through the darkness, drawn by the core's signal. The Draveri had heard the call, and they would not stop until they claimed what was once denied to them. But for the first time in centuries, humanity was ready to fight again. And the galaxy's greatest battle was about to begin. Captain Derek stood on the bridge of the Velastra, his gaze fixed on the stars. Somewhere beyond the distant void, the Draveri were coming. The air around him felt heavier, as if the galaxy itself held its breath. Varen worked silently at the control panel, scanning the outer systems. "No signs yet," he reported. "But if the core's signal reached them, it's only a matter of time." Derek nodded slowly. "We can't wait for them to strike first. Are the defense fleets ready?" "Almost," Varen said. "The Council has mobilized 3 battle groups. But if the Draveri are as strong as the legends say..." Derek understood. 3 battle groups wouldn't be enough. A light in the dark. The Sentinel core floated in its containment field, glowing brighter than ever. Its pulse filled the ship like a heartbeat, steady, calm, and powerful. But beneath the surface, Derek sensed something else. Anticipation. As he approached the core, the voice of Archon 3 echoed through the bridge. "Captain Derek, the Union has received your message. Our ships are on their way." Derek's heart lifted. "How many?" A pause. Then Archon 3 answered, "Enough." Varen exhaled softly. "They're really coming back." Derek allowed himself a small smile. And not a moment too soon. A warning from the void. An alert flashed across the main display. Varen's fingers flew over the controls. His face grew pale. "Captain," he said quietly, "we've got a problem. Unknown ships, approaching fast." Derek's jaw tightened. "Show me." A holographic projection appeared. 5 massive vessels, their shapes jagged and black, emerged from the outer edge of the system. The Draveri had arrived. "They're scanning the system," Varen reported. "They know the core is here." Derek's mind raced. If those ships reached the homeworld, millions could be at risk. He had to stop them. "Alert the fleet," he ordered. "We intercept them now." The first strike. The Velestra surged forward, leading a formation of sleek Veleth warships. As they neared the incoming vessels, the Draveri ships began to spread out, dark shadows moving with frightening speed. "They're faster than expected," Varen warned. "Target the lead ship," Derek commanded. "Fire." Beams of blue energy lanced across the void, striking the closest Draveri vessel. The enemy ship shuddered but kept advancing. In return, red plasma bolts burned through space, grazing the Velestra's shields. "They're testing us," Varen said grimly. Derek's voice remained steady. "We're ready for them." The battle begins. The Veleth fleet unleashed a powerful volley, and one of the Draveri ships exploded in a burst of flame. But the remaining vessels pressed forward, their weapons cutting through the Veleth lines. "They're trying to reach the core," Varen realized. Derek clenched his fists. If the Draveri seized the Sentinel core, nothing would stop their return. "Divert power to the engines," he ordered. "We hold the line, no matter what." The Velestra spun gracefully, weaving through enemy fire. As more Veleth ships joined the fight, explosions lit up the dark void, but the Draveri showed no sign of retreat. Reinforcements arrived. Just when it seemed the Veleth forces would be overwhelmed, a new energy signature flared across the sensors. "Captain." Varen's voice lifted with hope. New ships entering the system. A shimmering rift opened in space, and sleek, silver vessels emerged, Terran Union warships. Their hulls gleamed with energy, and the symbol of humanity burned bright on their sides. Derek felt a surge of relief. The humans had arrived. A deep, calm voice echoed over the comms. "This is Admiral Kira of the Terran Union. We have received your distress call. Engage defensive formation. You are not alone." Derek smiled faintly. "We're glad to have you, Admiral." Turning the tide. The human ships moved with deadly precision, firing beams of white energy that cut through the Draveri ranks. The balance of power shifted instantly. The Draveri, once unstoppable, began to falter under the combined might of the Veleth and human fleets. "Focus fire on the last two ships," Derek commanded. A coordinated strike from both fleets shattered the final Draveri vessels, leaving only silence in their wake. "They're retreating," Varen cheered. Derek exhaled slowly. The battle was won, but the war was only beginning. A new alliance. After the battle, the Velestra docked with the Terran flagship. In a grand meeting chamber, Derek stood face to face with Admiral Kira, a tall, calm woman with silver hair and sharp eyes. "You fought well," Kira said. "The Veleth are stronger than we expected." Derek inclined his head. "And humans are as powerful as the legends said." Kira's expression softened. "The Draveri will return in greater numbers. When they do, we must stand together." Derek met her gaze. "The Veleth Empire will not face them alone. We are ready to fight. By your side." The stars burned bright as the Velestra glided through the void, flanked by both Veleth and Terran Union warships. The air on the bridge felt heavier than ever. Captain Derek knew the silence would not last. The Draveri had been defeated once, but they would return. And this time, the galaxy had to be ready. Varen scanned the sensors carefully. "No signs of activity yet," he reported. "But we know they're out there, watching." Derek nodded, his face serious. "They won't stay hidden for long. And when they come, we'll be ready." A warning from Arction 3. The Sentinel core hovered in its containment field, pulsing with a steady, bright glow. It was more active now, almost as if it sensed the danger ahead. Suddenly, the core flared brighter, and the voice of Arction 3 echoed across the bridge. "Captain Derek, the Draveri fleet has begun its final approach. Their numbers are greater than before. Derek's breath tightened. How many? More than 100 vessels. And something else. A command ship, larger and stronger than anything we have faced. Varen's fingers flew over the controls. They'll be here in less than an hour. Derek turned to the communication officer. Send a message to Admiral Kira. Tell her the Draveri are coming. And this is our last chance to stop them. A united fleet. Moments later, Admiral Kira's image appeared on the main screen. Her silver hair was pulled back tightly, and her expression was calm. But Derek could see the fire in her eyes. We've received your message, Captain, Kira said. The Union fleet is already preparing for battle. We won't let the Draveri take this system. Derek gave a firm nod. The Velith stand with you. Together, we end this threat, once and for all. Kira's lips curled into a faint smile. Let's show them what happens when we fight together. Across the system, Velith and Terran warships moved into position. The combined fleet stretched across the void, ready for the final battle. The Draveri return. The first signs of the Draveri fleet appeared as strange energy signatures on the scanners. Then, without warning, space seemed to tear open, and the enemy ships emerged. The sight of them sent a chill through the bridge. Their black, jagged hulls gleamed like blades, and at the center of their formation loomed a massive command ship, larger than any Velith city. They're here, Varen said quietly. Derek's voice rang out, steady and strong. All ships, engage. The battle for the galaxy. The void exploded with light as the two fleets clashed. Beams of energy streaked across space, cutting through the darkness. The Velith warships fired in precise volleys, while the Terran vessels unleashed devastating blasts from their advanced weapons. The Draveri struck back with terrifying power. Their plasma cannons tore through Velith cruisers, and their swift fighters swarmed the Union ships. On the Velistra, Derek gripped the armrest tightly. Target the command ship, he ordered. We cut off the head, and the rest will fall. A desperate gamble. The Sentinel Core pulsed wildly, its energy rising to a new level. Arxum III's voice returned, more urgent than before. Captain Derek, the Core's power can disable the Draveri command ship, but only if you bring it closer. Varen's eyes widened. Closer? That's a suicide run. Derek's jaw tightened. We don't have a choice. He opened a direct channel to Admiral Kira. Admiral, we're taking the Core in. We need cover. Kira's voice was firm. You'll have it. We're with you, Captain. The Velestra surged forward, weaving through the battle as Union and Velith ships formed a protective wall behind it. The heart of the enemy. As the Velestra approached the Draveri command ship, the sheer size of it became clear. Its hull glowed with strange symbols, and a deep, unnatural hum echoed through space. They're locking weapons on us, Varen warned. Derek's heart pounded. Hold steady. We only get one shot. The Sentinel Core glowed brighter, until it was nearly blinding. Archon III, Derek said. Do it. Now. A wave of pure energy burst from the core, sweeping across the enemy fleet. The smaller Draveri ships flickered, then exploded in brilliant flashes. The massive command ship trembled, its weapons going dark. Victory and sacrifice. The combined fleet seized the moment. Terran and Velith warships unleashed everything they had, tearing through the weakened command ship. In a final blinding explosion, the Draveri flagship was destroyed. A cheer erupted across the bridge. We did it, Varen shouted. Derek exhaled, the weight on his shoulders lifting. The battle was over. The galaxy was safe, at least for now. A new era begins. Later, Derek stood with Admiral Kira aboard the Terran flagship, watching the wreckage drift silently across the stars. We won today, Kira said, but the galaxy is still fragile. Derek nodded. If the Draveri return again, they'll find us ready. Together. Kira smiled faintly. You know, Captain, legends once spoke of a feared race, and now humanity has returned. But not as conquerors, as protectors. Darek extended his hand. The Veleth will stand with you, always. Kira shook his hand firmly. Together, we'll guard the stars. The legacy lives on. As the fleets began to return home, the Sentinel Corps pulsed softly, its mission complete. Humanity had returned. The Veleth stood beside them, and across the stars, new stories of unity and strength would be told for generations to come. Because when the galaxy needed hope, humanity rose again.